Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I am doing a review of Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 23. So what you see here is the variant cover. I had the main cover, but I did a contest because this cover, this book, and the other book were both donated to me by RYAN WINN, who signed it here, and he did the inks on this issue. So the other copy was sent to a winner of the contest. So I'm going to go ahead and review this issue. I like the variant cover better, but I think both covers are really good, and I used the main cover as the thumbnail for this video. So this cover is really kind of crazy, but it actually makes a lot of sense once you read the issue, even though it looks pretty abstract. And you can see Willis Todd is the gravestone. So that's Jason Todd here, so that's his father. So pretty interesting. And right off the bat, we're off to a great start. Check out full page splash page. So if you're a fan of Red Hood, you'd probably like this page. I mean, this would make a good pin-up, I think. So you see a bunch of henchmen surrounding him. So these guys are all working for the Penguin. So right on the first page you get it. You know, the symbolism of these are probably the Penguin's henchmen. So, beautiful picture. Like I said, RYAN WINN did the ink on this. You can tell he really put in some work on this issue. And the other folks who worked on it, we have, let's see, Scott Lobdell. So he's the writer, and I actually thought the writing on this was really phenomenal, and we'll get into that. Trevor Harrison did the pencils. RYAN WINN did the inks. Rain. I'm really bad with names, but you can read everyone here who worked on the issue. And yeah, I think everyone did a really phenomenal job on it. So he is now fighting the henchmen of the Penguin who surrounded him. And there's this really epic fight where he is just using a shovel and they all have guns. And he takes them all down. And it's actually pretty believable the way it's portrayed. So, quite good. And then there's actually a really long thing that takes a number of pages, and sometimes I don't like that, but I actually think it's done really well, and I definitely give credit to the writer for doing this. So Jason Todd here has found a bunch of letters from his father that his father wrote to him while he was, this is his dad here, in prison. So then you get the backstory, a little backstory on Jason Todd's parents and their childhood. So his dad was a drug dealer, and his mom was actually like a straight-laced kind of person, but they fall in love, and she ends up getting addicted to drugs, and he's kind of a bad guy, but not entirely, and you'll see that as it plays out. They do have a hard time, though, at first, and you can see Jason Todd's having a hard childhood and remembering all of these things. So, and like her parents don't like him because of his criminal ways, and they go off on their own, and they end up living just, you know, by themselves, and they're real poor and everything, but they're still happy. And then his mom's still on drugs, and it looks like she overdoses. I think she did, but she lives, and she turns out she's pregnant too. So Jason Todd, it's fortunate he turned out physically as well as he did, because his mom used drugs and drank too. And they're at the baby, you know, those classes you go to for learning about your baby and how to deliver and stuff. And she's drinking a beer and gets in trouble. So, you know, they're real, but at the same time, they're trying. They're really trying. Like his dad is a, you know, you can see there he washes cars and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So, you know, he gives up selling drugs and tries to make an honest living of it. Then they give birth, she gives birth at home, and Yeah, so then Jason's born, and like I was saying, it goes for quite a few pages. It's all just about his parents, but I actually found it to be really interesting, and that's the kind of thing you can do with an ongoing series. So he's, reading all these letters and getting caught up, and he was actually really sickly. Imagine that. His mom, did all the drugs when he was a baby. So he was in the hospital a lot, and that ended up costing them a lot of money. His father's worried about bills. So he's thinking about going back to selling drugs, but he can't make money doing that, or at least not enough, and he's saying it's too dangerous now anyway as a father. But then he picks a different route and becomes a henchman. So that's kind of crazy and interesting because we're in the DC universe. So then Jason Todd's dad was a henchman for all kinds of different criminal supervillains. So there's Two-Face, Mr. Freeze. He even tries doing his own thing for a little bit. You can see Batman there. There's a nice little story, page-long little bit here where that's Jason as a kid, and his dad takes him to the fair and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But finally, he gets arrested because the Penguin set him up. The Penguin wanted a fall guy, so his dad ends up in jail. And the Penguin goes free. So that's a whole other dynamic then between the Penguin and Jason Todd. So he's checking out the letters still, and then he said that he had to go. He was going to be a part of some medical experiments that the dad is, and that is going to reduce his sentence. Is why he agreed to do it. And then Jason finds some pictures too of them. So it's pretty cool. If you really care about the character of Jason Todd, Red Hood, this is a good issue. Another cool thing too is I jumped in at issue 23, right? But just reading this one by itself, I was able to follow it no problem. And I think that's something that's really important in a comic. You should be able to jump in whatever number it is and still get a good experience from it. And it definitely made me want to go back and read the previous issues. So we're back at the cemetery, and Penguin's actually there, and he's got a sniper with him too. Jason digs up the casket, opens it, and turns out the casket's empty. So his dad's probably not really dead. Penguin's just watching. He wants to see how Jason reacts. He doesn't take it well. He says he doesn't care, but he's obviously really upset. Penguin's just loving it. Penguin's like gonna be Jason Todd's nemesis, I'm pretty sure. So he sends the sniper back to the car, and he's just loving it, watching Jason upset in the rain. So it's pretty brutal. And then there's this part with his dad. So that's how it ends. So I guess he's still in prison. It's a little confusing at the end, I think. I'm not sure if this is before he goes to do the medical experiments or this is like the present day. Let's see, let me double check. After today, you're getting transferred. So I think this is taking place right before he gets sent out. So we probably don't know where Jason Todd's dad really is right now, but he's definitely alive. And at the end, there's a little bonus, too, an interview with Brian Hitch, and he's talking about drawing Hawkman. So, very cool. Don't miss Hawkman #1. Fortunately, I have missed it because I didn't get the issue, but I've heard nothing but good things about Hawkman #1. And you'll hear nothing but good things about Red Hood and the Outlaws from me. Definitely a good series. I'd say definitely buy it, check it out. And I know our boy Ryan Winn's going to be inking some more issues, including issue number 25. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, be sure and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. And thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.